Loch Ness Monster. Sightings date back to the 6th century. And just when you think the creature and the legend may have died down,
it's 2025. Imagine a legend that's whispered about for ages. Something lurking in the Scottish Highlands, the Loch Ness Monster. Now, what if I told you that everything we thought we knew about Nessie has been completely flipped upside down? What if the myth actually became real? That Nessie was finally proven to exist? That kind of news would shake the world, right? Well, today, we're heading straight to Loch Ness to see what's really going on in 2025. Has the monster mystery been solved? Or is Nessie still out there, keeping us guessing? Let's get into it. Before we jump into the wild claims of 2025, let's rewind a bit. The whole Loch Ness Monster story? It's not new.
This book is your beginner's guide to understanding Scripture. Find peace, build relationships, and discover purpose in today's world. Ready to decode the Bible? Find Bible Decoded available on Amazon now.
It's seriously old. The first written mention goes all the way back to 565 AD. In a biography of St. Columba, who supposedly had a run-in with a water beast in the River Ness. Then, zoom forward to the 1900s, and that's when the legend really blew up. That famous surgeon's photograph in 1934. Even though it was mostly debunked later, got the whole world hooked. Since then, over 1,000 sightings have been reported. People have poured their lives into finding Nessie, using everything from basic cameras to fancy sonar. Some say it's a plesiosaur, others a giant eel. Maybe even just our imaginations running wild. There's just something about the idea of a huge unknown creature in those dark Scottish waters. Scotland's biggest loch by volume, by the way, that people can't resist. It's a story woven into Scottish folklore and a massive draw for anyone into cryptozoology. For generations, the big question has been, is Nessie real? And every year, people just want an answer, one way or another, even more. And 2025? It definitely got people's hopes up again. It kicked off with a really interesting report. On January 29, someone visiting Dores Beach, a famous Nessie spotting place, snapped a picture that quickly got a lot of buzz. The person said they saw a large, dark mass under the water, which was super calm and still. What was special about this one was the conditions. The water was unusually calm for winter, so the view was clear. The Loch Ness Center looked at the photo and called it particularly captivating, saying it looked like a wave with something dark underneath pushing it up. Amy Todd and Nagaina Ishak from the center both said this sighting really kept the mystery alive. And it wasn't just a quick look, the sighting apparently lasted for several minutes. But the excitement didn't end there.
Feeling anxious or disconnected? Ready for a deeper faith journey designed just for you? Discover Bible Study for Black Women. This guide nurtures faith, strength, and growth week by week. Overcome fear and connect with God. This empowering journey is waiting. Find Bible Study for Black Women on Amazon today and start building unshakable faith.
Jump to May 23, 2025, during the yearly Loch Ness Quest Festival. Someone up high, looking over Urquhart Bay, saw something pretty wild. As a small motorboat went by, they spotted something long and thin pop up behind it. It disappeared and reappeared a few times, and get this. The witness filmed it. We've only seen a still photo from the video so far. But the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register thought it was believable enough to call it the second official sighting of 2025. These sightings, which some say include the clearest images in years, got the Nessie community and everyone else pretty excited. Could this finally be it? With these exciting new reports, you can bet the scientists and dedicated researchers weren't just sitting around. The search for Nessie in 2025 hasn't just been about what people see. They've brought in all sorts of modern tech. We're talking a serious lineup of gear. Underwater sonar to map the loch and spot anything unusual. Drones with thermal cameras to scan the surface for heat from anything breathing air. and advanced environmental DNA (EDNA) analysis to see what species are actually living in the loch. During that Quest Festival in May 2025, they even sent down remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, with super high-res cameras that can go 330 feet deep, to check out those murky waters like never before. They also put out baited camera traps to try and catch anything moving. And these efforts have given us some good info about what's going on in the loch. For example, the ROVs filmed some huge pike, proving there's definitely enough food for a big predator if one exists. Plus, during that May search, ROVs found old cables from Dr. Robert Rhine's expeditions back in the 70s. And the ruins of the old temple pier, cool bits of history. But, even with all this cool tech and hard work, scientists in 2025 still haven't found that solid, undeniable proof of a big, unknown creature like Nessie. The search goes on, the tech gets better. But that concrete proof of a monster is still missing. Previous DNA studies, for instance, found a lot of eel DNA in the loch, making some scientists think that maybe really big eels are what people are seeing. Those big DNA surveys didn't find any signs of a plesiosaur or any other large, unknown animal. So, the hunt is on, more than ever, but the mystery just gets deeper, doesn't it? What do you think these sightings are all about? Are we about to find something amazing, or is there a simpler explanation? Tell me your theories in the comments. And hey, if you're liking this look into the Loch Ness mystery, hit subscribe and that bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Let's go back to that really interesting January sighting at Dores Beach. The one some are calling the Dores Beach anomaly. Now, you might have heard theories or even seen headlines suggesting that this was the moment. The irrefutable proof. What was reported in early 2025 was a compelling visual. A large, dark mass seen under unusually clear water. It was a big enough deal to make the news and for the Loch Ness Center to call it particularly captivating. But, and this is important, while it was super intriguing, this sighting alone wasn't the smoking gun needed to prove a new species or a hidden creature exists. The Loch Ness Center itself, while excited, called it a potential sighting. And a reminder that the Nessie mystery is far from solved. Experts like Alan McKenna from Loch Ness Exploration were brought in to look at the image, which is standard stuff to rule out things like seals, birds, boat wakes, or weird waves. This anomaly definitely got people talking and searching again, but it wasn't the moment that proved Nessie was real. This brings us to the big question, the one in our title: Loch Ness is finally proven real. Imagine the scene, a huge announcement in 2025, top scientists from around the world stepping up to say they've found its solid proof. ROV footage, DNA, the works. News that would change science forever. But, as of right now, June 20th, 2025, that amazing scene? It's still just a dream. There hasn't been any big international announcement. No scientific papers have come out in 2025 with irrefutable proof of Nessie. From new ROV footage or game-changing DNA that points to a big, unknown animal. Remember those EDNA studies? They mostly pointed to eels, not mystery monsters. The scientific world, while admitting Loch Ness is interesting, and the sightings keep coming, hasn't agreed that Nessie is a proven creature. So, for Nessie to be actually proven real, in a way that would blow everyone's minds, a few key things would need to happen. First, we'd need undeniable physical proof. Think crystal clear photos or videos of something definitely unknown, backed up by different gadgets. Or, even better, actual biological stuff: skin, tissue, or some really unique DNA that scientists everywhere could test and agree on. Second, these findings would have to be published in serious scientific journals, the kind other experts check and approve. And third, a big group of top scientists from different fields. Zoologists, marine biologists, geneticists would need to look at everything and give it the thumbs up. Right now, those tough checks haven't been met. So, to be super clear, that headline idea about Nessie being irrefutably proven real in 2025? That hasn't happened. But hey, let's just imagine for a second. What if it did happen? What if, tomorrow, scientists actually announced. Yep, Nessie's real. The world would go absolutely wild. It'd be huge. It'd be the biggest news story in ages. Social media would just explode. For science, it would be mind-blowing. A living creature from a lost time. Or a totally new kind of animal, just chilling in a Scottish loch? Textbooks on animals, nature, maybe even how life evolves. They'd all need a serious update. Governments would probably jump in to protect Nessie and the loch right away. New protected areas, tons of research money, and countries working together would likely pop up. Tourism in Loch Ness? It's already busy, but imagine then. It would be off the charts, which would be great for some. But a challenge too. And think about it, it would change how we see the world. If Nessie is real, what other legends, what other mysterious creatures might actually be out there? Suddenly, cryptozoology, hunting for hidden creatures, wouldn't seem so out there to a lot of people. It would totally change how we think about nature and what mysteries it still holds. Okay, back to reality, June 2025. The world hasn't had that shock. Because that solid proof is still missing. And cryptozoology hasn't had its huge I told you so moment. But what 2025 has given us are some really interesting new chapters in this old story. Some of the clearest sightings in years have popped up. And scientists are still using all the latest tech to try and crack this centuries-old mystery. The folks at the Loch Ness Center, plus loads of independent researchers and just plain enthusiasts, they're all still on the hunt. That big search event, The Quest, really shows you how much people want to find out. How adventurous they are. Sure, they've found things like giant eels and big pike, which could explain some sightings. But it doesn't mean the Nessie story is over. Most scientists are still pretty skeptical because there's no hard proof. But even they admit that Loch Ness is huge. And murky, who knows what could be hiding down there? And the arguments between believers and skeptics? Oh, they're still going strong. This whole search for Nessie really shows how curious we are as humans. How much we love to explore the unknown. What do you reckon? Will we ever get that final proof? Or is the mystery itself what makes Nessie so special? Share your final thoughts down below, and if you believe in the quest for answers, give this video a thumbs up. So, back to our big, dramatic title, has Loch Ness actually been proven real in 2025? Shaking the entire planet? Well, looking at all the reliable info we have right now, on June 20th, 2025, the answer is no. That game-changing, textbook rewriting proof that would make everyone sit up and take notice? It hasn't shown up. That exciting title? It's really about a dream a lot of us share, a what if that keeps pulling people to Loch Ness. But what is absolutely real is how powerful the Loch Ness legend is. And 2025 has definitely added some cool new pages to that legend. With some of the clearest sightings people have reported in ages. And some pretty high-tech searches going on. All this has definitely drummed up fresh excitement. And kept the world looking at this mysterious part of Scotland. That Dores Beach anomaly and the footage from Urquhart Bay? They're great new bits of the story, making people investigate and argue even more. So, while science hasn't confirmed the monster, the search itself keeps teaching us a lot about the real creatures in the loch, about the history hidden in its waters, and about that little part of us that just wants to believe in something amazing and mysterious, something just out of reach. The Loch Ness mystery is definitely not solved. And maybe, just maybe, that's how it's supposed to be. At least for now. Thanks for watching.